Hello, welcome to my live video about having Sun in the 5th house in astrology. If you would like a personal astrology birth chart reading from me or a personal psychic tarot reading, I'm an astrologer as well as a psychic tarot reader. I'm Lamarr Townsend, by the way, for those of you who are new to my channel. If you would like a personal reading, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, or just type in Lamarr Townsend Tarot on Google and I will show up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new. If you like this video, like it, and make sure you hit the bell next to the subscribe button so that you get a notification whenever I go live as well. Hey, Janny, how are you? And let's get right into it. This video is about Sun in the 5th house. So for those of you who are new to astrology, the astrology is split into 12 zodiacs, okay? So each zodiac has its own specific house, okay? In an astrology birth chart. And basically what an astrology birth chart is, it's a placement of the planets in the sky at the time you were born, okay? So we all have, our own houses, our own house placements, our own, planetary placements in our birth charts, basically. So, and the 5th house is ruled by the Sun and is ruled by Leo. Hey, Tawanda. Hey, Siobhan. Hey, Janny. How's everyone doing? Hey, Adrienne. You found out you're a Leo Virgo. Okay, so you're on the Leo Virgo cusp. Yes, Adrian. Yes, that's good. At least you know that. You probably resonate with both energies. But basically, okay, so back to what I was talking about, Sun in the 5th house. So the 5th house is ruled by the Sun, basically. It's ruled by the zodiac sign Leo. Keep in mind that each house has its own specific ruling planet and ruling zodiac sign. So the 5th house is ruled by Leo and the Sun, meaning that Leo is ruled by the Sun. Okay, so the Sun rules creativity. It rules our connection to our life purpose. It rules the connection to our higher self as well. It rules our connection to children and our childhood as well. All right. The Sun also rules how we express ourselves and how we relate to the world around us. All right. How we go about getting what we want. All right. Hey everyone. Yes, you just finished your reps at the gym. Yes, get your workout on, girl. Hey, David. So that's what the Sun rules. So when we have the Sun in its, when we have our Sun placement in its natural home of the 5th house, this makes, someone with the Sun in the 5th house, someone who's very expressive, someone who is very lively. I have my Sun in the 5th house in Capricorn, actually. So my Sun's in Capricorn in the 5th house. Now, it's interesting because, for example, Capricorns tend to not be very lively, which is often why people mistake me for either being a fire sign or a water sign, right? But anyone who has their Sun in the 5th house, no matter what your Sun is in, it makes them very lively. It makes them very expressive. It makes them very fun to be around a lot of the times. Now, depending on what your Sun is where it's placed, and also what your 5th house is placed in, and what your 5th house is actually in. Because keep in mind, just because you have Sun in Capricorn doesn't mean your 5th house, or just because you have 5th house and your Sun in the 5th house doesn't mean that your 5th house is actually ruled by the Sun or Leo, if that makes sense, right? You have to know exactly what your houses are in, right? But anyone who basically has Sun in 5th house, no matter what their Sun is very lively, very expressive, very fun to be around. Now, depending on what their Sun is in different circumstances, it may take a while for them to warm up, or, they may be more comfortable around these people versus those people. But once a, Sun in 5th house person is comfortable, they're very lively, they're very expressive, they're very open with people, that's that 5th house energy. Now, Sun in the 5th house people tend to be very creative as well, which is why often, Sun in the 5th house people tend to go towards professions that involve creativity, because this is just something they're good at. Sun in the 5th house people are really good at thinking on their toes, all right? They're really also good at making people feel comfortable, all right, as well, which I noticed. Not only comfortable in their presence, but comfortable, in their own skin as well. Sun in 5th house people have a way of pointing out people's strengths and building them up. I noticed that about them. Now, I also notice with Sun in the 5th house people, and you Sun in the 5th house people are going to have to let me know out there, because like I said, I'm a Sun in the 5th house. I noticed that Sun in the 5th house, because remember the 5th house, the Sun rules, children and relationships to children. Sun in the 5th house people either tend to have, really good relationships with children, meaning they make great fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, blah, blah, blah. Or children tend to be like, children tend to gravitate towards them, or even like animals tend to gravitate towards them. And that's that Leo energy, where Leo's energy, the 5th house, tends to transcend through barriers, such as language and things like that, which is why Leo people often tend to, be very universal people, people who are widely known, people who are very popular. All right. So Sun in the 5th house people actually tend to be very popular as well. You love creativity. You love the arts. Yes, exactly. You have Chiron in the 5th. Ooh, child. That's a whole nother video. Having Chiron in the 5th house. Chiron is the wounded healer in our astrology birth chart. But having Sun in the 5th house also makes someone, like I said, they tend to gravitate towards children, or children tend to gravitate towards them. They definitely have a youthful energy about them, Sun in the 5th house people, right? And it's interesting because the 5th house, aka the Sun, Leo, it rules, our vitality for life. So Sun in the 5th house people, especially if you have your Sun is in a fire sign like Sagittarius or Aries or Leo, and you have that in the 5th house, you're someone who is like, you have a zest for life. You have a zest for life. You have a zest for exploring life and learning new things, and going on new adventures and making life fun and worthwhile. Making life worth living. That is the Sun in the 5th house person. They are the types of people who have to do what they love. You guys have to do what you love, and if you're not doing what you love, you tend to be very, depressed. You tend to be very sad. Because you're not living to your fullest potential. That's, the purpose of a Sun in the 5th house person, is you have to live to your full potential. The way I think of astrology is I think literally each placement has its own specific, like, purpose for us and lesson for us to learn. So I think having Sun in the 5th house is, you have a lot of lessons to learn for yourself, but there's something about you, Sun in the 5th house person, where a lot of people are going to learn lessons either through you, or through knowing you, through watching you, through being in relationship to you. There's just something about you that's very transformative, especially if you have your Sun in a water sign, such as Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, especially Scorpio. If you have Scorpio Sun in the 5th house, you're someone who is very transformative in relationships, and you attract a lot of people to you, because Scorpio is naturally like, an attracting kind of energy, but so is the Sun, so is the 5th house, So by the way, I am doing live readings. So if you guys would like a live reading, it's anywhere between $5 to $10 for one question, $20 for 2 questions, $30 for 3 questions, so on and so forth. You can donate to my PayPal or my Super Chat. I do prefer PayPal payments, but do what you please. That's me, Cancer with Cancer in the 5th. Oh, okay, yes, Twanda. So you have Cancer in the 5th house. Yes, exactly. Now, I also noticed that Sun in the 5th house people tend to have a lot of friends or family members, that hold them dear, but also that they hold dear. Sun in the 5th house people also on that same kind of frame have a way about them where you guys can easily become hurt when someone doesn't come through for you, or when someone doesn't give you attention. Like, Sun in the 5th house people need attention in relationships, and you guys need attention in general. All right, it is what it is. Leo likes attention. Leo likes to know that it's wanted. Sun in the 5th house people like to know that they're wanted, that they're desired. Also, I will say that Sun in the 5th house people have a way of being a bit dramatic sometimes. Let's keep it real, because the 5th house is all about drama and flair. Remember, it's all about creativity, theatrics, that kind of thing. So Sun in the 5th house people tend to be very dramatic. They tend to like a little bit of drama sometimes, okay? They may like a little bit of, drama TV or something like that if they don't like to participate in it themselves, honey. Or they may sometimes, be at work and be like, so what's the tea going on with the drama I just saw earlier? Like, Sun in the 5th house are those types of people where they like to know what's going on, especially when it comes to drama. You, sir, are psychic AF. Thank you, Young Chains. That's like the Sun in the 5th house energy. Scorpio can transform anyone. It's dangerous to fall in love. I agree, especially if it's a Scorpio Sun in the 5th house. I'm telling you. Where are my Scorpio Sun in the 5th house? I'm sure you guys are heartbreakers, all right? And there is something about Sun in the 5th house where you guys can be heartbreakers. Let's keep it honest. The 5th house also does rule romance, all right? Romantic relationships and romantic energy, all right? So there is also something about Sun in the 5th house people where you guys are very romantic. People tend to easily fall in love with you as well, all right? Which can be a good thing or a bad thing. All right. Like I was saying earlier, you guys tend to have a lot of people around you that care very deeply for you. So like, friends fall in love with you very easily. And I don't mean like in a romantic way. It's just like, I love you. Like, I love you and I would do anything for you. Like, family members fall in love with you. And it's like, I would die for you. That's like a Sun in the 5th house. Like, they like surrounding themselves with those types of people. I'm saying, nothing less, especially if you have like a Sun that's very suspicious or is very kind of selective of who you choose to hold dear, like once again a Sun in a water sign, Cancer especially, or Scorpio, or earth signs, Capricorn especially, or Virgo, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Very accurate. Thank you, Monique. I have my sun in the 11th as well as my North Node. Yeah, I have a ton of energy in my 5th house. So I was like, let me start doing placements, and let me start with, maybe a placement that everyone can kind of resonate with because it's the sun energy. So I should check my husband's chart. He sounds like a sun in the 5th house kind of person. He might be. But I sometimes sense that I was a singer in the past life due to myself node being in the 5th. That's a good point, David. Sun in the 5th house people can make good celebrities, can make good actors or actresses because they're good at expression, they're good at creativity. Once you give a sun in the 5th house, freedom to express themselves how they want to, they can come up with some really innovative, really thought-provoking things, They just need that freedom, So, especially in childhood. Like they need that freedom. A sun in the 5th house needs that freedom to express themselves from childhood, from early on. Or otherwise, they're gonna go through this period, this process of kind of deconstructing, decompressing, getting rid of old patterns and beliefs to find once again that inner child, that child that's free to express, free to explore. Isn't afraid of messing up a few words or something like that. Sun in the 5th house of people are the types of people who are very innovative, who can set trends, especially if you have sun in a fire sign, because fire signs, especially Leo and Aries, are trailblazers. You guys are innovative. So, which is why the 5th house rules creativity, right? What's up? Hey, Dice. And feel like being in the spotlight feels familiar. Exactly. I need to check my 5th house when I get home. You got me curious. Yes, Gumbo Yaya, check where your houses are in. Right? Check your 5th house energy, honey. The 5th house is important. All houses are important. We'll get into it, as we go on and make videos like this. But houses are very important. What about sun in the 9th house? I have that placement. Okay, we'll do that video soon. All right. The 9th house is ruled by Jupiter, so that rules long distance travel, that rules higher education, higher learning. So once again, sun in the 9th house person is someone who's very curious about the truth. All right, someone who loves to travel, is very interested in different cultures and things like that. So that's 9th house energy. All right. But with it being a Scorpio, who knows exactly, David? I'm Scorpio, sun in the 5th, not a heartbreaker. Okay, Lightwalker, thank you for being honest. I respect that. But remember, we all have our own moon sign, our own rising sign, so those play a role. You might be a sensitive Scorpio. I feel like you might be a little bit of a sensitive Scorpio, Lightworker. My Chiron in the 5th, with my Chiron in the 5th, every time I'm center stage, someone tries to down me or take my spotlight. That's Chiron. Being the wounded healer, having to, fight for what you want, having to fight for your right. So we're going to get into the Chiron as well in the 5th. Maybe we'll just do a 5th series. Maybe we'll go like that. I don't know how we'll do it. Y'all know I'm so sporadic and random, but still subscribe, all right, if you're new. And hit the bell or hit the like. I only see 3 likes, but I see 18 people in the room right now. And I've seen it go up to 20 people. So I need more likes, you guys. They like to break the mold. Exactly. And set trends. Thank you. How was your birthday? My birthday was really, really good. It was really, really chill. I got new tarot decks, so I don't know if you saw that one. I think it was the live I did last where I didn't do a tarot reading. So I don't know which one that was. I don't remember. I just do videos. And I post them, honey. That's my job. Sag and Pisces. And I believe Scorp has 9th house. Yes. Yes, look forward to that video. Yes, Lena. Hey, Amy. I have a lot of mutable energy, according to my natal chart description on Cafe Astrology. Interesting. Okay. That makes sense, actually, David. I have a lot of cardinal energy. I don't understand Chiron at all. Yeah, Chiron is an asteroid. So, Chiron is not actually a planet. So, I think that's where a lot of people get confused as well. Thank you for the likes now. Yes, 8 likes. Thank you so much. That was really quick. But I would love more. I thought of getting a new Oracle deck. Get one, David. Treat yourself. Yes, like the video. Thank you, guys. So this is Sun in the 5th house energies. All right. Thank you all for being here. Like I said, we're going to do more of these videos where we talk about the houses and this and that. If you would like a birth chart reading from me, check out my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. And remember, check out where your houses are at. Okay. you know, ask around, you know, where you can get a free birth chart reading. But if you would like your birth chart read in depth, contact me at lamarrtownsendtarot.com. All right, I can do that for you. And I also do psychic tarot readings as well, remember. So thank you all for being here. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new. And if you're not new, or if you are new, hit the bell next to the subscribe button so that you get a notification whenever I go live. I'm ready for your Lilith vids. Yes, we're going to do Lilith next. Watch Dolo the Pilot Man. Oh, I love Dolo. I haven't watched him in a while, though. I have to be in the mood for Dolo sometimes. Like, sometimes he's too, like, it's not that he's too intense, but sometimes his messages just hit home so hard. I'm like, okay, I need to pause this and come back to it, honey. Like, this is heavy, you know? I need to process it. So, but I will start watching him. He posts videos all the time. So shout out to Dolo. Subscribe to his channel too. Like, he's really cool. And I love his music and creativity. Hey, the big bad wolf. And let him know that I shouted him out in this video, by the way. Because I've heard he shouts me out every now and then too. So how do I know? Did an astro chart. Okay, so I think when you do an astro chart, what you want to look for is if you want to know where your houses are in, kind of scroll down and look for the zodiac wheel that comes with your chart. Look for the natal chart, you know, that comes with your chart rather than, you know, the descriptions themselves. All right. And that'll show you where your houses are in. I feel the same about Dolo Chulamar. Yes, exactly, Siobhan. Dolo's a very right brain, so I have to be ready to. Exactly, Tawanda. Like, I respect people that are, like, you know, like, always there, like, whatever the message is. Sometimes I'm like, well, I'm going to have to wait for that one when I'm, like, mentally prepared. But he's legit, though. Like, he's really good. Yeah, when cards start fraying, that means it's time to get new ones. But I get attached to my cards, so I still don't get rid of them. I still don't know the right way to get rid of tarot cards. Like, I've heard some people burn them, some people just throw them away, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm attached. I need to practice shuffling. Some of you shuffle decks like a Vegas dealer. Yeah, I don't know how I got shuffling decks. Like, I guess practice, to be honest. Practice makes perfect. And just doing so many readings. I mean, this is my job, so I do readings, like, you know, all the time. Dolo Sun, Moon, Rising, Fire, so he's super lit. Super lit. Yes, I'm attracted to that deck a lot. I love watching the angels on the cards. Yes. Yeah, I'm in love with my little gay tarot deck right now. This is my favorite. This is the one I picked up on my birthday. But I don't know. I want new decks already again, though. So, all right, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. This is Sun in the 5th house. Remember, if you want a reading from me, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. And thank you all for being here. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next live.